Okay.
All right, so start off Pranayama Shavasana. I have the basic setup here. You could use a bolster or you could use blankets folded to simulate the bolster. But basically, a rectangular support under the back. Make sure that you're at the center of your mat. Make sure that the bolster is not digging into your low back, but that the buttocks can lengthen away from the bolster. And then with your legs bent, spread the chest open. Make sure you're centered. Have the head in line with the center of the spine. And then extend your legs. First, have your feet at the center of your mat, just so you can uh, feel where you are in space. And using your mat kind of like as a ruler. And then once you're satisfied with your position, then let the legs roll out, hands at your sides. I'm keeping my glasses on just so I can see all of you. But the rest of you, glasses off, you can close your eyes. So as you settle into Pranayama Shavasana, so we're not doing any pranayama yet, we're just getting ourselves arranged and settling into Shavasana. Then the only thing you need to do here is to really make sure that everything is relaxed and soft. No gripping anywhere, no gripping in the hands, the groins, the throat, abdomen, no gripping in the face. Face is completely soft. Everything should be passive, receptive, and be observant with your mind. Turn your mind inward and be observant with your mind. Once you are satisfied that the body is completely relaxed, centered on the mat, centered on the bolster, then you can start to observe the breath. Don't change the breath, just observe the breath. See that the shoulders are pinned down, the top of the shoulder blade moving toward your bolster, and the inner edge of the shoulder blade moving toward the chest, toward the front body, so that the chest is receptive. You could say that the chest is listening and just receptive. The resting breath, pre Ujjayi, is just going to be abdominal, right? So just the abdomen effortlessly rising and falling with the rhythm of the breath. Wait and listen for the abdominal resting breath to become very soft and steady. As you turn your attention to the breath, you will notice that it becomes more steady and rhythmic. Reduce the effort in breathing so that the breath becomes even softer. Now, as you rest, observe the outer frame of the body from the sides of the pelvis all the way up to the armpits. Just observe that outer frame. It actually goes from the legs, the outer hips, the outer thighs, and then up to the armpits, up to the corners of the shoulders. Just kind of observe that the banks of your body, the frame of the body. Now with the next cycle of breath, beginning with the next cycle, inhale up the outer frame of the body. From the outer hips all the way up to the corners of the shoulders. And then exhale down the center line of the body. Send the breath down the center line of the body. Imagine the line going from the pit of the throat all the way down to the pubic plate. And continue in this manner, breathing up, inhaling through the outer frame of the body, and exhaling down the center line. Establish a rhythm, and as you picture the breath going up the outer body, down the center body, now invite the breath to become a little slower and softer. Not aggressive, but just gently becoming a little slower, a little softer. And as the breath becomes slower and softer, now it is developing into Ujjayi. So we don't charge headlong into Ujjayi right away necessarily, but allowing the Ujjayi to develop, like the way the sun is slowly rising now. It's just a gradual movement of the sun, and it's a gradual development of the breath. So as the breath is developing into Ujjayi, and as you feel that length of the outer body, as you inhale, see that you're supporting the outer body by drawing the abdomen up and back so that you can have a strong frame of the outer body, and feel the side ribs, sides of the chest, all coming all the way up to the corners of the shoulders. And then as you exhale, visualize that center line like an elevator going slowly down, all the way down the very center midline of the body, establishing that midline of the body. Gita Iyengar calls it the goddess line. The goddess line, this center line of the body, the center axis, the center vector. Continue in this manner, inhaling up the side body. Feel the rib cage expanding as you continue with these cycles. And especially the side to side movement expansion of the rib cage. Bring your attention to that side to side expansion of the rib cage, and then narrow, a long, narrow exhale down the midline. Do 3 more cycles like this. Ujjayi, up the outer body, down the center body. 3 more cycles. Of course, you can have resting breaths in between as needed. If you feel any strain whatsoever, then back off with the effort. Take resting breaths in between if you need to. But hopefully, the pace and the volume of the breath will be such that you don't feel a need to take the resting breath. Will be such that it'll be so steady and gentle that you don't need to take rests. If you find that you are needing to take resting breaths, then you take that as a signal to reduce your effort. Maybe 10%, maybe 20%. You figure it out so that you can have soft, steady, continuous cycles. Now, and then after your 3 breaths, return to normal breathing. Normal breathing. Okay, so now let's spend the next few minutes trying the opposite. You know, it's often really edifying to do something and then to do the opposite, because then you start to understand more and more the subtleties of the body and the different ways that we can affect it through the use of the breath. This is somatic particularity. So now, for the next few minutes, develop the Ujjayi going up the center line and then exhaling down the outer lines, down the sides of the body. All right, so now see what difference that makes for you. So start whenever you're ready, developing the Ujjayi breath up the midline of the body, from the pubis all the way to the pit of the throat, and then taking the breath down the outer body, the outer frame of the body as you exhale. It's not that one is superior to the other, but each variation in the breath will reveal certain things. We'll tap into certain energies, mind states. The effect on the organs, the physiological effect will be slightly different. The effect on the mind and the nervous system might be slightly different. So continue with this pattern for another 2 minutes at your own pace. Inhaling up the middle body, up the center line, the goddess line, and then down through the outer body, outer frame, from the corners of the shoulders, down the side ribs, all the way down to the outer hips. There's so many breath patterns, infinite number of breath patterns we can employ in pranayama, and each will have a particular effect. And do 3 more cycles with this breath pattern. And after those 3 cycles, return to normal breathing. Return to the resting breath. So now, getting ready to come out. Bring your palms in. Bend your legs. And roll to your side. And when you're ready, sit up. All right, so then have your bolster or your support for a little bit of seated pranayama, okay? Sit in Dandasana with your legs straight out. Have a strap. Have a strap. All right. I think for pranayama, Don, better to sit a little higher if you can. If you can sit on a little more height. Because you want maximum alertness in the spine. And then have 2 blankets nearby, all right? So now, sitting in swastikasana. The strap is to kind of frame your swastikasana in order to establish that outer frame of the body. So with a loop like this, I'm putting it under one foot and over the knee. I have a pretty big loop. And then I'm twisting it. See, I'm making a figure 8 like this. Do you see? Now, I would prefer for the buckle to be up high so that I can adjust it. There is a little twist in the belt, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. So it's a figure 8. Yeah. So it has to go under the foot, Don. Yeah. So see, this is the test. Can you lift your feet up? You should be able to lift the feet up because you're strapped in. I'm in swastikasana, not Baddha Konasana. Swastikasana. Yeah. And both feet looped. Okay, so it's a pretty snug. It's a pretty snug strap here. All right, and it's giving me in a pretty tight pose. All right, I could use a blanket. I can still use the blanket to support the knees. One blanket to support the knees. All right, and then another blanket for my hands. All right. See that the buttock flesh is moved back and that you're seated evenly. Settled evenly on both buttock bones. So hopefully this tying of the legs, this tying is creating a stronger foundation, and creating a slight confinement. So we're in this slightly confined position in order to shape the breath. So we're using this binding here in order to shape the breath up here. Okay, so we'll repeat that same pattern that we did lying down. And so we'll do a number of cycles with the outer body lifting in the inhales, coming down the center line to the exhales, and then we'll reverse it. Okay, so that you can feel the contrast, so you can compare and contrast the two different patterns. So from here, place your hands on your support near your hips, and then spread the chest open, spread across the collarbones, balance the head at the top of the spine. I have my glasses on only so I can see you, but you don't need your glasses here. Then from here, bring your head down. Jalandhara Bandha. Shoulders back, head down. Shoulders back, head down. Uh-huh. Don't lean back. Kind of push off of your hands in order to give the chest an extra lift upward. Lift the chest to touch the chin. Chest to touch the chin. Bow your head down, but chin down. And then chest up, chest up. Spread across the collarbones. Good. Now from here, maintain that height. Don't lose one iota of height. And then turn your palms up onto your lap. Hands shoulder width, elbows descending, spreading across the collarbones. More chest down, chin down. Don't lean back. Exhale completely. From the firmness of the legs, inhale up the side body from the outer hips all the way to the sides of the waist, sides of the chest, to touch the armpit chest, and then all the way up to the corners of the shoulders. And then exhale down the center line. Picture the center line from the pit of the throat, descending all the way down to the pubis. Resting breath or two. And then repeat. Exhale completely. Keep your head down. Don't let your head come up. It tends to come up when we inhale. And then inhale up the side body, side waist, side ribs, armpit chest, corners of the shoulders. And then mentally bring the mind to the midline, pit of the throat, and then exhale down the midline. Resting breath or two. And then 3 more cycles on your own. So Ujjayi inhales up the side trunk. Feel that strong frame of the body.
I just boiled more water to fill up the coffee thing. Will you fill it up all the way? Thank you.
And then down the midline. Keep your head down. Keep your head down. Yeah, and the chest lifts. It's the head down, the chest up, so that the chest meets the chin. The chest meets the chin, but it's not by bowing the head, it's by lifting the chest more. And after you finish your 3 cycles, return to normal breathing and bring your head back up with your eyes closed when you're done. You can also turn your palms down on your blanket when you're done to signal to me that you've completed. Once you finish, just sit quietly for a moment. So we're gonna now do a few cycles with the reverse. Remember the reverse pattern. Inhale up, exhale down the side body. But first I'd like to do a little variation with the arms. Take your hands back and hold I'm holding the back of my bolster, all right? Or you could hold the back of your blankets. But keep your hands pinned there because the chest, it tends to drop. Have your head balanced at the top. No Jalandhara Bandha yet. Just get the chest lifting. Shoulder blades pulling in. But not to push the ribs forward. You see? Don't push the ribs forward. Have the abdomen pulled back and the buttock flesh lengthening down so that you don't lose the foundation of the pose. Now, keep your hands back here. Bring your head down. Okay? Chest up. Exhale completely. This time, inhale up the midline, from the pubic plate all the way up to the pit of the throat. And then take the breath out to the sides. Exhale down the outer frame. Down the outer frame. Resting breath or two. Exhale completely. Inhale up the midline. Long, narrow, like a tube-like inhale. And then at the top of the inhale, let the breath, consciousness of the breath, move out to the sides and then down the side body, all the way out, all the way down to the outer hips, all the way down to your seat, your blanket or bolster. Don't lean back, don't lean back, chest forward, okay? And then now, 4 more cycles on your own. Long, narrow, midline inhale, and then exhaling down the side frame of the body. Keep your head down, chest forward, head down, chest to chin, Jalandhara Bandha. Why do we do Jalandhara Bandha? To keep the prana contained in the trunk region, to sort of concentrate the prana in the chest box, especially the heart and lung region. You can take resting breaths in between as needed. Don't lean back. So the hands, you should be kind of pulling up from the hands, pulling up, chest forward, Don, chest forward, forward 2-3 inches, 2-3 inches forward. No leaning back at all. No weight on the hands, in other words, no weight on the hands. Okay, finish your cycles. And when you're finished, bring your head up with your eyes closed, palms on your lap. The seated posture, it takes a while to learn, really years. It takes years of practice to get this seated posture, but it'll come. All right, now from here, release your release your blankets, release your strap. Extend the legs in Dandasana. And then lie down for Shavasana. Okay, if you can lie flat on your back, lie flat on your back. And I will be ending the meeting, but you can stay in Shavasana as long as you want, all right?
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.